My name is Alice Escoyoto, and this is my story. I was born on November 2, 1989 in Brooklyn, New York. My mother, Ida Lopez, used drugs during pregnancy, so I had to be weaned as soon as I was born. My father, Escoyoto, who liked the left side, managed to gain custody of me from my mother, who had two other children from a previous relationship, of which she had also lost custody due to drug abuse. My father enrolled me in a private school, but his health started deteriorating, and he could no longer afford the tuition fees. Fortunately, the school principal introduced me to Prince Mako from Greece, who offered to pay my tuition fees until the last year of high school. However, in November 1991, when I was 2 years old, my mother requested unsupervised visitation rights, and she got them. So, I started staying with her every other weekend. After a few visits with my mother, my father, and my teachers at school began noticing bruises and other signs of physical abuse on my body. I also started wetting the bed and having nightmares. I told my father that my mother had beaten me and locked me in a closet. He tried to revoke my mother's visitation rights, but the court denied his request, stating that as long as she didn't hit me, the visitation could continue. In 1993, my father came up with a plan to permanently take me away from my mother and bring me to Cuba, where he had family. However, he suddenly passed away on the day we were planning to leave due to lung cancer. After my father's death, my mother requested full and permanent custody of me. Initially, she was granted temporary custody, despite objections from my father's family and Prince Mako from Greece. The abuse from my mother towards me escalated rapidly after she gained full custody in 1994. She took me out of my private school and enrolled me in a public school. The principal and my teachers quickly noticed that I was emotionally disturbed, withdrawn, and frequently wetting myself. They also noticed several bruises and that I had started pulling out pieces of my hair. On March 28, 1994, I was admitted to the hospital with a broken shoulder, and it was discovered that it had been broken for 3 days. My teachers reported their suspicions of abuse to social services, but it was dismissed due to lack of evidence. In December of that year, my mother permanently took me out of school after discovering such allegations. As she resumed using crack at home, the abuse worsened. My mother kept me locked in a room 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was forced to stay and urinate in a bucket in my room because I was not allowed to use the bathroom, and then she even forced me to eat and drink its contents. She regularly kicked me, burned me, and I was sexually abused. She even hung me from a curtain rod for her entertainment and sometimes used my hair to scrub the floor. On November 15, 1995, my mother beat me so severely that I lost consciousness. She slammed my head against a concrete wall with such force that I fell to the floor, causing bleeding. I lay lifeless at home for 2 days while my mother didn't immediately call an ambulance, although she had told her sister about my condition. Eventually, a neighbor found me, and an ambulance was called, but it was too late. I was pronounced dead, and an autopsy revealed evidence of sexual abuse. Broken fingers, internal organ damage, deep wounds, and burns on the head, face, and body. My funeral was held on November 29, 1995, and about 300 people attended. My mother pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 15 years of life imprisonment. She has been denied parole several times, with the last one being in 2022. If you want to support us and learn the stories of other well-known individuals, please contact us.